everybody, it is Sue Johnson, and I am here with Debbie. All right, I'm going to have to say this. Your last name, is it Pribele?
Pribele.
Pribele. See, I had it wrong. I didn't put that E on the end. Debbie and I actually met, a couple of years ago when she was doing a podcast type of thing. We talked for a while. She's now, since then, we've chatted a few times before then, and then she's been doing a program of mine. And she said to me, I'd love to try to show you what I do. And Debbie has created this really fascinating way to work your essential oils with your deep emotions and potentially your potential in life. I'm going to let her explain it a little better because it always comes best from that person who does it. But we got into the middle of this and I said, Debbie, we really should be recording this. And she said, are you really sure? I said, I don't really care. We all know I'm an open book. And I think it's fascinating. I think it's really cool. And you know that I like to share experiences, and maybe this is something that you'd like to share with Debbie. So I'd love for you to see what I go through to do it. So Deb, what I want you to do before we get too much farther, just quickly explain again. You just told me about your vision, how you found them, what you put together. We had a nice conversation. I didn't realize we weren't recording, my bad, because I just kind of assumed we were. And but I want that in there. And then you can talk about the first oil that we came up with. So Debbie, go ahead and talk a little bit about your vision, how you came across this and all that.
Yep. So originally, I wanted to do something fun to introduce essential oils to people. And I have connected a little bit with card readings, not really in depth with it. And I said, there must be something with essential oils. And there wasn't. And I thought, all right, make it. So I put it together. So how it works is we've got these oils, which are the living essence of plants and fruits and vegetables and trees and all of that living essence. And we're going to be using that to connect with our living essence to take us on our path. Okay, so there's the oil, and these are the cards, and the cards represent those oils. So this one, inner child, and there's a wisdom message, and then we're going to use the oil with that. So how it works, it has it's developed into something like totally extraordinary, because I started it with just fun, and it's just become so powerful and empowering for people. Just love it. So it has a native tradition to it, and there's 4 cards that we use, 4 oils that we use, representing the East, the South, the West, and the North. And it's easiest if we just go through it and just do it to explain it as we go, rather than me trying to do that. So we had started with you, Susan, and your card that was given to us, your oil that was given to us through your energy and my energy and spirit guides and the universe and the creator and the great mystery, and all of this come together and says, hey, Susan needs this card. So her card that she got, her oil that she got, was sacred frankincense. And frankincense is masculine energy of action, and myrrh, counterpart, is feminine energy of inner knowing. And if we walk our path without that inner knowing, we're probably going to go off our path. And if we're all inner knowing, but we don't do anything with it, then what's the point? So this card is about putting something into action. So this is, the East is about beginnings and opportunities. So right now where you are, you're either unfolding something very important to your sacred path, or there's some new idea that's been mulling around that you want to look at. This is the time of action. Okay. So what I want you to do is take your sacred frankincense that you scooded there to get.
If you said to me what was one oil you could never live without, it definitely would be sacred frankincense, because I feel it's super powerful.
Perfect. Okay. So while your brain, when we're going to smell this, while your brain is going, is this a smell of danger, or is it a smell of something that's going to support us? Because that's what happens when we breathe in an essential oil. Your inner knowing is saying, walking one's sacred path and taking action. So the only way your brain can know whether this is a danger smell or not is through connecting with your memories. It has to go through all of your memories and say, what do I know about this smell? So while it's doing that, your inner knowing is going to pull out some memory that you have, some word, some vision, image, something. So I want you to tell me what comes to mind.
Actually, really interesting is that what comes to mind is a lot of the work that I did with Gary. So Gary being with Young Living, I had the opportunity to work with him for 2.5 years. And, it brings up conversations when you talk about moving forward and putting stuff into action. And Gary was very action oriented. He believed that if you dreamed it, if you lived it, if you manifested it, it would come.
So just on a side note, my thoughts on manifesting is the universe provides everything that we need to walk our path. When we are in alignment with who we are and with purpose, we see those possibilities and there they are. When we are disconnected, when we are blocked by old stories and perceptions and self-doubts and all that, we miss everything. So being in alignment with that, and then action, right? Because we can say, oh, that's a really cool idea. Somebody should do that. Someone should make some cards with essential oils.
Yeah, there you go.
Do it, right? So this is where you're at. So what's triggering for me, I don't know, I'm representing my little pocket of people, crave to know more of what Gary said and how he lived his life. I find it doesn't even have to be his messages, it's how he lived. So empowering for me. I will quote him in a way that says, okay, that's the problem. What you going to do about it, right? You don't stop at the problem, you solve it. That was Gary. So how does that mesh with you in what your path is of where you're going to take that and move it forward?
Yeah, what's really interesting is that since I work for Gary, there are no hurdles. There aren't any. Yes, there are hurdles, but there's nothing you can't climb. He gave me a mission to put together his World Peace Caravan. And there were so many obstacles in that. Matter of fact, it's so funny. I even wore today my World Peace Caravan shirt. So again, when you open up and you listen to yourself and why did I put this coat on? I have no idea. Every so often I just got to pull it out of the closet. But, Gary always felt that there was no obstacle and that he would work so hard to get it done. And even if it wasn't exactly what he wanted, it wouldn't make him happy, but it was a step forward. And that you can't let the fact that there might be a big obstacle in your way get in your way. You just had to, and when you say manifest it, so, again, I love what you said about manifesting, because a lot of people say to me, Sue, you want to do something and then it just happens, right? And we'll talk about, like, give you an example. Our son moved away from the farm here. It was his time. He came here just for a year, but we had come to rely on him for helping us with mowing and these kind of things. And I, someone said to me, what are you going to do without Cameron? I said, well, Kevin and I are working on manifesting, something really cool coming into our life, because we know that when we open our minds and our hearts and we're in the right place, the universe will open that door. And so what was interesting is that I got a phone call about 2 weeks later from a guy who bush hogs our property. He said, I know, I got this young kid and he needs a lot of help. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what are you giving me? Well, this young kid came to work with me. Well, it turns out that this kid is amazing. He's been with us for a year. We just celebrated his 1-year anniversary with us working here. He's incredible. Where he needed help was not help with him working, but the guy, and he had bad communication. You tell this kid to do something. He stays at our house with our dog. He's amazing. So again, think about that. So, okay, we need to open to it. But when I got that first phone call and they're like, well, you can't babysit, you don't treat this kid like a child, and you're going to have to watch him. And I could have said, oh, I don't need that. Or I could have said, well, let me open that door and see what that door is all about. Well, it turned out that door was completely different, because it just was a communication style issue with them, not with us. He and I had a great day that first day. I looked at my husband, I said, this is the one. And he's been with us ever since. So again, that's when you talk about manifesting, you've got to be, like you said, it's there, but you've got to open to it and not be afraid to explore something. And he could have been the worst kid ever. And I would have said no, but it was no harm, no foul. But look at that. It was the best thing going. So, yeah.
Yeah. So again, that taking action and not sitting back and hoping things would just fall into your lap or whatever. It's all falling into your lap, but we just like shove it off because we don't want to do the work.
We're even afraid to look because it might be more work than we're ready to do, or we're not ready to experience something. You know, again, when I look at my program and I have people come on, there are many people that aren't ready to open that door of what they could find because it's scary. It is scary, right? It could be a lot of work, right? It could be the best thing that's ever happened to you, but it could also be scary. So yeah.
That's good. Okay, so that's your first oil, your first wisdom message. And this is what this conversation is going to revolve around, is taking that action. There's something new that's unfolding, or maybe it has already, and now it's just, I don't know, expanding in its greatness. I'm not sure. We'll see. Okay. The second oil is about trusting and believing completely. No doubts, no fears, no yeah buts, no shoulds, completely believing in whatever this message is that this oil is bringing for us. And it's transformation.
Oh, okay, there you go.
So the message is stimulating the conscious and unconscious mind, embracing the shift, the change, and transform into your next life spiral expansion. So our life expands, it shifts, and it grows into biggerness through our experiences and our reflecting and wisdom gaining and all that. That spiral also spirals inward to our inner knowing, our inner essence, our sacred self, and we become more self-aware and empowered to live our passion and our purpose of what we're here to do. So you're getting told that there is a shift here that's happening. And again, frankincense, we need to be acting on that. So right off top, do you know what this transformation, this shift is?
No.
Okay.
Well, again, I could, but those that know me know I have several things going at once. Yep. So I have many irons in the fire. We just have to figure out what iron it's looking for me to work with.
Okay. So trusting and believing. This is what this oil's. So I don't know if you have transformation handy.
I don't.
Okay. So if you don't, we're going to use my energy, breathing in the oil, and then we're going to connect.
I'll tell you what. Let me just go see. But
okay.
While I'm getting this, because we're doing this kind of off the fly, talk a little bit about the cards, how you develop them and that, so people understand.
Sure. Okay. So as I was saying, we need to have a little card reading, which I got, but anyway, I just wanted to play with it. So I selected some oils. I did some research on each of the oils and I put it together, and that says, that's this talking and I want this talking. So I redid it all and let my pen write the messages. So I've done this before. If you go to my website, EssentialReflections.online, I don't know where it is, but there's a poem that my pen wrote called The Metamorphosis. And my pen wrote it. And after I was done, it took me about half an hour. I read it and I was like, oh my goodness, it was so powerful. And that was in 97, a year before my husband died. So it was a long time ago, and it still holds so much power to me. So when I did the oils, you need to let the pen write it, because that's the energy, the universe, the creator, great mystery, spirit guides, that's coming through me, and I'm just the vehicle. So I let my pen write the wisdom messages that come with the oils. So again, you breathe in the oil and it does all its stuff. So if we look at sacred frankincense here in Canada, so it's different down there in the States, but here in Canada, Health Canada has approved different oils as natural health products. So sacred frankincense is good for cough and colds, some skin issues, and stress and relaxation. That's natural health product. Yay! So
we could only wish.
So when you're breathing in the oil and you're applying it on your arms, your bottom of your feet or whatever, you're getting those qualities of the oil as well. And then with reflecting, we peel back the layers of inner knowing and insight. Okay, so you found some transformation.
Did. It's actually one of the older ones. I've had this one around a while.
So first thing you're going to do when you do this, you need to get those molecules moving and dancing and re-energize, because again, it's the living essence of whatever's in this oil. You're going to breathe it in, 3 deep breaths, and then whatever comes to mind. Transformation.
So I actually had already kind of breathed it in before I did this. So I have figured out which one this is. So I know which one it is now. Yep. You know, for you know what I've been doing well, and I'm not sure if you were aware, but 3 days I went to trademark my program, and 3 days before I entered my bid for the trademark, somebody took my name. So, and again, some people look at that and go, "Oh my God!" And I, remember energetically, very interesting, is that I dragged my feet. I dragged my feet. And I knew I needed to do it. It wasn't a big deal, but I dragged my feet on it. Well, remember, there's reasons that if you really listen to your inner voice, there are reasons why things happen. And some of it came to the fact that I knew that I had greater things planned. And my fear is that I was boxing myself in. So interestingly enough, so let's talk about opening doors. So I pivoted, I came up with something else, and they told me no. They said, no, you can't. And I started looking, and finally I found one that I just knew was right. And so I put that out there, and they weren't really open to it. And so I asked them to have a conversation with this trademark attorney that I'm using. She's very good in her legal aid, who was the one who was kind of like, well, it could be. So we opened this big conversation, and turns out that they were able to apply for that particular trademark. Now, I won't know for a while, but it will open up the door to take what I'm doing now in many different places, much more than the original trademark would. So again, when you open up things, so when we talk about opening up something greater, I believe that this is it. And I wasn't sure, I thought that might be the one, but yes, I mean, that as soon as I started breathing that, something jumped into my head that I wasn't even thinking about. I'm like, oh, there you go. Okay, that's exactly what it is. So this is good. Again, to me, that's great. I love when things kind of all come together. There was a transformation into this new thing, and I can see it transforming into something greater, which goes along with my purpose in life and my drive. So yeah, very cool.
Very cool. That's awesome. And, we think, they say if it hasn't worked out, it's because it's not done working out. This hasn't come to the end yet. So keep going, keep listening to your body. I mean, that's one of your core things of the 28-day reboot. Listen to your body.
It's telling you, and when the time is right. If you really listen, when the time is right. Again, I could have trademarked this thing a year ago. And I just dragged my feet. And then I had to kind of, after the first, I had to transform it a little, Again, when I finally decided I had to pull the trigger, just because there was the back pressure telling me to do it, it was gone. Again, 3 days. How does that happen? And someone said to me, someone go in and steal your name. I'm like, I did look it up because I got curious, but I'm like, no, they're just, it was, they stole my full name, but they stole a version of it. So it was all good. But again, I said to someone, when a door closes, another one opens. You have to listen. There's a reason. And I'm not saying that everything in life is set, but what I am saying is that when you listen, you truly know the right way.
Yeah. And this card is the card of the South, which is about trusting and believing. So trust and believe that there's a bigger plan, because we envision this, and the great mystery envisions this. So trusting and believing, and detours, we're going down here and we hit like a major road blockage. Well, it's actually guiding you back here to what your right path is. So realigning, rethinking, and reconnecting with passion and purpose, beliefs and goals. I'm getting there. So that's transformation. Okay. Pretty cool. I'm excited.
And that's the South. Is that the South?
That's South. Yes. complete trust and believing. And this is I equate it with little kids and Santa Claus. If you're a Santa Claus person, they completely believe. There is no questions. There is no doubts. And that's what we have to have, this faith in whatever is coming, that it's unfolding the way it's supposed to. No doubts. That's the important part. Okay. So the next card is the card of the West. This is what I call the walk the talk card. So where you're actually acting in alignment with your passion, your purpose, beliefs, and goals. And what I like to use as an example on this, if you go on Facebook and you'll have people that I am light, I am love, I am positivity, I am empathy. And then they post this crap and anger and judging. And I thought, wait a minute, where's that light and love and all of that kind of stuff, right? So this is where you're walking what you're talking. Okay. It's usually a big one for people, but we'll see. All right. Carrot seed. I bet you don't have that one sitting in front of you, do you?
You know, I actually have it right here. I think it's right in my drawer over there, believe it or not. Interesting.
Well, you go get it and then we'll talk about it.
All right, carrot seed. I have two of them open because I'm like, how did I get two of these open?
So as to which oils I selected, I really can't tell you why I selected which. They just ended up into this collection. Yep, that's it. That's the story on that one. It just is. It came into play and it went into the set. There's a lot of oils that kind of have very similar messages. And I thought, oh, should I take them out? No, I shouldn't take them out because this wording may not resonate with you and this way does. So the card that's going to hold the most meaning and the oil that's going to trigger the best memories for you, that's the one you're going to get out of this. Yeah, it's so cool. I did one young woman and she got the first card, couldn't figure it out, got the second card, couldn't figure it out, got the first card, kind of got some conversation going, and then the fourth card, which is the wisdom that you learn from, all of a sudden it all came together and it was the most powerful message ever. So again, trusting and believing, because this isn't working, something, it's not triggering anything. Oh, it was. We just had to work through that beginning. So when you go to my website, EssentialReflections.online, under essentials, there's a section about self-awareness. And in there, you will see I have a few testimonials from people that are posted in there. You can check that out. I have talked about action. So yesterday, doing some reflecting and saying, I want to do like a mini online class. So I'm going to do November 3rd, I think is the date that I selected to do that. I haven't posted anything about it, so you get to be the first dibs on it. And what we're going to do is there's 3 oils that you get ahead of time. And then we're going to use those 3 oils to walk through what we're doing here. And it's going to be in a group and you can share or not share, or but the energy of everyone that's involved in that just magnifies.
All right, I'm not going to find it.
You did not find it. Okay.
That's okay.
So we're going to rely on my energy connecting with you and the oil, and it's out there riding the wave. So, okay.
Just as good. Intention.
It works. So the message, are you feeling swallowed up? And it's I choose my path. And being comfortable in your own skin. When you're feeling overwhelmed, you kind of lost the, oh dear, phone call. You've kind of lost the gist of what your passion, purpose, beliefs, and goals are. And so getting back grounded in who you are and what those are, choices are easy because they either going to align with what you believe in or they're not. So as you said, your body knows. So if you're feeling swallowed up and it's just way too much, you need to step back and be very comfortable with who you are and what your path is. You are the only you. You do not have to be like everybody else. There's an Ojibwe phrase, "Agamashkade Debwe," across the fire speaks the truth. So if we were all sitting around a fire, everybody, if we were to describe that fire, everyone would have a different description of it, but we wouldn't have a full understanding of that fire or of truth until we hear everybody's version and we pull them together. And if sitting around the fire and we're talking about empowerment, for example, or whatever, and I have something to say, but I don't share it, everyone loses out because you're all losing that one perspective. So being comfortable with who you are and what your voice is and what your voice is like, it's the game changer. So for me, I walk to a different drummer and I sometimes it's like, oh, really? Never mind. But no, yes, mine, because I have a voice that is here for somebody. Somebody needs my voice, so I can't keep it silent. So
I'm going to ask you to hold one sec. Hold that thought, because I'm going to get you something. You're going to laugh. Hold on, hold on, hold on. So I live every day by this piece of paper, okay? And it says on it, there are far more people in need of my gifts than there are people giving these gifts. There you go. So right there.
That's right.
There are far more people in need of my gifts than there are giving my gifts. So it doesn't matter if my gift's a little out there. Right?
That's right. Like doing this, that's a little out there, but it's not. And when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So okay. So I'm gonna breathe in the carrot seed and reflecting on feeling swallowed up. Like, I think that's more like a sense of disempowerment, maybe, right? That everything else is controlling your life. But no, I'm choosing my path.
Or even I think sometimes feeling that you don't have enough so that maybe you shouldn't speak. Kind of the same kind of thing, right? So that you feel that you're enough because there is so much out there that you don't feel that you can.
Yeah. So really being comfortable with who you are and what your unique passion, purpose, beliefs, and goals are. And this is, okay, so we get it here, right? So right now we're talking here. When you breathe in the essential oil, you're going down here, peeling back the layer. Oh, I just got goosebumps because there's something bigger than what this is telling us. There is a truth down here that we need to be in alignment, comfortable in our own skin. I have to say, I don't get a lot of messages because I think you're like, get it. You understand this, you live this, you breathe this. But it came into this conversation for a reason, that there's possibly something more that you can, some fine tuning that you can be doing with how you're unfolding this new journey, because that's what we're talking about, that transformation, the action.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's something. I can feel it here. the voice. So some kind of way of expressing or talking about what it is that you're doing, that you can fine tune and really speak your truth as opposed to what we think other people want to hear. That's what I'm getting.
Love it. Love it. Makes total sense. Makes total sense. Yeah. Yeah. It's very interesting. And again, so, Kim and I had this conversation yesterday. So we had this conversation yesterday about me and my program and the future. So there you go.
There you go. So validating really makes it, check. So, okay. Yeah. So your last card is the card of the North. This is the wisdom card. So when you go through this shift, when you take that action and you do what you need to be doing, and you're following your truth of who you are and what your purpose is here on this earth, the outcome of this is, it's Kanzia.
Oh,
I love Kanzia. So Kanzia, do the work, pull off the Band-Aids, start chipping away at deep-seated emotions so that you can let them go, and then you can move into your higher self. So I want to, before I get out the Kanzia, I want to share my story with, 3 years ago, Kanzia came to the Young Living Market, 4 maybe.
Yep, it's about three or 4. Yeah, probably 3. Okay. It was the last time we were, I think, in Salt Lake City.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. So I get the oil and I immediately threw it into my Essential Reflections. And it's in there. Well, I need to know what's the wisdom message. So I go online, and there's a psychologist said that Kanzia is all about releasing deep-seated emotions. That means stuff that you've been cramming down in there since you were like 5 years old, and it becomes this hard ball of stuff that you've got to chip away at so that you can get it to the point where you can actually release it. So I get my Kanzia. I'm not going to see if I can grab it real fast, JK. Okay.
I actually need to remind this, so this is good.
Go ahead. Okay. So I get the Kanzia, and I'm all right. And I do so much reflection and self-awareness, and like, there is nothing left. Like, I am pretty open and honest with who I am, whatever. So I breathe this, all right, gonna release deep-seated emotion. And immediately I found that this tightness in my shoulders that was like, what? Oh, there's deep-seated emotions. So I take the Kanzia, I go like this, and all of a sudden, and I started sobbing. What was it about? No idea. But the stuff that I had been working on here, there was still residue physically here, and it was still holding on. So using the Kanzia to chip away at the residues of old stories, old wounds, and whatever, so that I can move into my higher self. That's Kanzia. So when you do this work of taking action for this transformation that you're doing, that's really in alignment with who you are and being comfortable in your own skin, you are going to be chipping away at something.
Hold on. It's helpful if I had them all here, but I don't, so hold on.
So these can be fears, they can be self-image ideas that people have told you forever until you started believing them yourself, or you've misinterpreted situations and you've applied some perception of who you are, and it's become part of you. And we need to be letting that go. If it is blocking you from being your best and walking your path of purpose, we need to be letting that stuff go.
Well, I think what's interesting is I think that a lot of people miss the emotional side of oils. It's easy to understand the physical feel, or even, I think, even relaxing. but I don't think people put that together with that deep-seated emotion. There's so much to essential oils with that. I mean, it's fascinating, right? I think it's some of the power that people miss when they look for everyday uses for essential oils. They don't look for that power of that true.
Oh, it smells nice. It's not about the smell. It's about the cell.
Well, and again, they look at some of the names like acceptance or surrender, and they go, that's a little woo. They're very deep. It's a very deep thing, Yeah, this is a great oil.
Yeah. So is anything coming up?
Not yet. But like you, I'm a person that does a lot of self-reflection and those kind of things. And so that, I mean, it could be, but I'm always telling myself things. So, and again, and maybe this one is a little deeper seated and needs to come out. Maybe I need to dig a little deeper, spend a little more time with this one.
So it might be one that you use. So from my experience, 7 days straight.
Okay.
And in my experience, twice I've had on day 6, I've sobbed and whatever it was. So again, like here, I've done all the work here. I say I'm way too much in my head. And what I've been finding with using the oils is where it's physically trapped on a physical thing, not just mental memory thoughts, but it has become a physical, tangible substance in this walking planet. These oils will start chipping away until they get down to that, and we can start letting that stuff go. So
cool. Now, so we've done this.
Yes.
How do you recommend people move forward over the next 6 days? So is it layer 1, 2, 3, 4? Do it when you wake up, do it when you go to bed, take a quiet moment. I mean, what is your recommendation for using these oils over the next 7 days?
I'm going to quote a friend of mine named Susan Johnson. Listen to your body. What is your body telling you? What is your inner knowing tell you? Do you use these same 4 oils every day for the next week? Do you use them? I like to journal after, because this will peel back a layer and I go, oh, there's the memory. And then I'll start writing and I go, oh, why did I choose that word? Well, that word holds a lot of power and self-awareness. So that's what I personally like to do, but you may not be a journal. I don't know. Get the paints out.
I don't know. I think journaling is key. So
yeah. So you're going to find your own way of what feels right. Now, here's, based on this conversation, here is a tool that's been given you, and you say, yeah, that was really cool.
Tuck it in the closet.
Done. Yeah. That's not what essential reflection is all about. It's not, oh, here's the message. No, here's the work that you can be doing if you so choose. And if you choose not to do the work, for me, that's a moment of insight, because that's telling me there is a fear there, some kind of self-imposed blockage, and there's some work. And today may not be the right time. Next week may not be the right time. Maybe 6 months from now, you say, oh man, I remember that Essential Reflections and Kanzia said, do the work, chip away. I think I need to do that. It's there. And when you're ready, the oils are there to support you on this journey. So how much do you want it? Is the timing right for you? Are you afraid of something? That's a lot of it.
And so here, again, let's bring this back into something interesting. So my kids had to be 7 and 8. So we have to be going back 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I sat with a medium. Okay. And for a long time, I've tried to figure out what my purpose is on this life. Everybody does, right? I mean, if you ever looked at Sue Johnson's life and what has she done, you get a good laugh, because I have had so many jobs and done so many things and all that kind of stuff. And she said to me, you need to read this book. And that book is called Sacred Contracts, okay, by Carolyn Meese. I've carried this book with me for 20 years and I've never, ever done anything with it. And y'all know I do book clubs. I mean, you've seen I do book clubs. I came across this book. Now, again, there's so many times I could have sent this book to the secondhand store or whatever, never did. Something said this was the right time to unfold this book. And I was chatting with another girlfriend of mine. She's a cross line. She and I met at a gold, it was one of those masterminds. And she and I have been together for like 5 years now. We meet at least twice a month, sometimes every week. And we've done that. And I said, I really want to read this book. She goes, I want to read that book. It's been on my list. She and I are doing this. We have almost 40 people in this book club. And so many people have said, I have that book on my shelf. I saw this book. I found this book in a secondhand store after you said it. I knew that. So again, it doesn't matter when it comes. Again, 20 years ago, I was told to look at this book. I wasn't ready. 20 years ago, I was in the midst of kids. I was in the midst of, other things. And it just wasn't the right time where I am now. Okay. So why is this coming to me at almost 60? I don't know, but it's now is the right time. Right. So you should never question those things or why didn't I read this book before now? I don't know why I didn't read this book before now. It wasn't the right time. I wasn't ready. The universe wasn't ready, whatever. It doesn't matter. The time was ready now. And again, when you talk about something unfolding, this could also be one of those things that's unfolding because this is a year-long book club. This is an opportunity to dig really deep into not only myself, but help other people. Melissa and I can help other people dig through themselves over the next year because there is a lot, and things like essential oils can play really big into that as well, right? So it's a very interesting thing. And the other thing, you laugh about where to put it, where to put oils on your body. When I first got into this, and I was trying to listen, I went to Harvest. The very first year we got into this, my sister and my husband and I went to Harvest. And I met this wonderful woman named Kay. She and I were working in the kitchen together. And, she was really knowledgeable about oils, really felt them. And I said, okay, Kay, I'm going to ask you a really strange question. I'm new to this. I said, I have this oil. I know I need to use it, but it keeps telling me to put it in my belly button. And that just seems weird. Why do I want to put it in my belly button? And she looked at me and said, you never question where the oil tells you want to be. Your belly button is your life. This has to do with, your life. It could be your mom. It could be how you started or something. I mean, this is, you never question. So I never question where an oil tells me to put it. If it tells me to put it in my belly, my bottom of my feet, my heart, my hair, my neck, my shoulder, whatever. I never question why. I have to understand that there are meridians and energy and frequency that's much bigger than that and never question those things. So that's really interesting.
Yeah, that's very cool. I just have to tag a story onto your book story. I had purchased this book. I can't even remember what it was, paid $30 for it, started read it. I couldn't even get through the first page. And it went on a shelf. 6 months later, I says, okay, Debbie, you paid $30 for that book. Somewhere in those pages, there's something that you need to be getting. So I picked up the book, first line up. Wow, that's powerful. Paragraph, page. Oh my goodness. Every word of that book held so much meaning for me. And 6 months ago, it was garbage to me. There was nothing. Same words, same me, except now I was ready. So
it's all about being open.
Be open, be ready, listen, trust, act. That's the key. That's your first card was frankincense, about taking the action, doing it. So when you're getting the messages that are coming up, what are you going to do with that? That's what Essential Reflections is all about. What are you going to do to unfold what that message is? That's the kicker.
Love it. It's fascinating. So fun.
There you go. You've now had an essential reflection.
I love it. So Deb, if people are watching this and they want to learn more, maybe they'd like to do this, or, tell us a little bit about, can they get a hold of you? Can they get a set of these cards? I mean, what are some of the things that they can do?
Yep. So EssentialReflections.online, go there. So speaking of names, someone took that name and they went EssentialReflections.com, which everyone goes to. That's okay, because she's talking Essential Reflections. I'm talking Essential Reflections. She does it her way. I do it my way. We're cool. It's good. I've never reached out to her. Maybe I should think about that, act on that. So EssentialReflections.online. And there's a section called self-awareness. And that is about the essential reflections. I have a second set of cards that you can buy. These ones have Young Living oils in it, so I can't have those available publicly. So this is just for my private essential reflections that I do. you can book an essential reflection and we can do that together. I was saying, I've just put this program together. I haven't announced it anywhere until right now. I'm going to do a reflecting class, and there's 3 oils that's going to be used. So you get your 3 oils and you join the class, and we're going to go through those 3 oils together. And then it's kind of like introductory to the whole process of essential reflection. Book one. Again, if you're local to me, we can meet in person, which is the most powerful because we're going to use these bottles of oil. Obviously, we can do it online, and I use the oil if you don't have it, and then using the energy. And so someone was saying, so I don't, if you believe in spirit guides, so you're getting these memories, and your spirit guide is helping you reflect on memories that are coming up, etc. And then when I'm using the oils, the same thing is happening with my spirit guide. So then your spirit guide talks to my spirit guide, so that we're getting 4 people involved in this whole essential reflection process, which just takes it to a whole other level, and it's pretty cool. So I like that. And yes, that's it. That's how it works. It's easy, but it's the key is about what are you going to do with the information.
Yep. Love it. Love it. So fun. All right. Well, you now know how to get a hold of Debbie if you'd like to. We hope you've enjoyed this. It's a lot of fun. I can't wait to put this all into action. And, that's an awesome thing.
Super.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for saying yes to my offer of having an essential reflection.
Love it.
Very cool.
Love it.
Super.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Sure.